Right, I've got my phone next to me, so let's just see if we are live. It says we're live, but I cannot see us. Hang on. Is it live on yours, Thomas? Yours always seems to work quicker.
Right.
Oh, there we are.
I just had a notification, so I think we are, yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Yay! Soul Squad Unleashed on a Friday and no one's got a drink.
I'm not allowed one. I'm not allowed to drink until next week on the first 5 days.
Oh, so you've taken the whole theme of this week of physical health quite seriously.
I have. It just happened to coincide. But on the back of watching Julie and Claire, it has really spurred me on.
Yeah. I was just going to say, like, those guys that we've had. So we had Claire on Tuesday, Claire Hetherington Dar, and Julie Ridley on Wednesday, and then obviously Bianca yesterday with the sleep. I think there's so much stuff that came out of that, which was just inspirational. I think the tips around having a community around you really hit me, because, you know, when I've kind of undertaken these things before, I think I feel quite alone when I do it, even if I'd gone to, you know, in the past, like a Slimming World class or whatever, I'd kind of gone, I don't want to talk to anyone. This is the like, I'm the worst person here. This is going to be the most horrific experience. And actually all of them, so both of them, when we were talking about from the weight loss perspective, Claire and Julie were both saying that the importance to have a community around you was immense, which is great. And I think the other thing that came through as well is that, you know, healthy diet isn't about deprivation as well, because I think there's so much information out there and you could disappear down all sorts of rabbit holes, couldn't you? I mean, I know I'm guilty of that as well. I mean, you know, years and years ago I did, I'm not dissing it because you've got to do what's right for you. This was the other advice really, is find what's right for you. But I did do Lighter Life a few years ago, and whilst it was amazing and I lost 5 stone, I also lost a load of my hair. And at the time, you know, my it messed with my hormones and everything. So, but it's whatever's right for you. You know, people do what they need to do, don't they?
Yeah.
I think,
but I loved hearing that from Julie, who lost all that weight, and saying she'd never eaten so much, but it's what you eat, isn't it? So it's about making the right choices, which may sound really obvious, but I think, I know I've struggled with that in the past, because my mood will often dictate what the right choice is. So my right choice, if I'm feeling a bit stressed or emotional, the absolute right choice is chocolate, and there is not another choice coming in there at all. And I think that's all right every now and again to have those little blips. But what I definitely picked up from Julie was focus on what you can have. Don't sit there thinking, oh, I can't eat that anymore, I can't have that anymore. And instead go, oh, look, I can have this lovely steak and these lovely vegetables, and I can have this little sweet treat, and really focus on enjoying what you can have, and really approach it that positive mindset. So that really resonated with me.
I think, Thomas, one of your points that you'd made in your lunchtime live when you came out as well, which is in different words, which is it's really great to take inspiration from other people, but don't be jealous of them. You know, everybody's journey is different. That's one of the things that hit me as well. And it's interesting as well, because I've found for years, if I was going to take inspiration from a healthy, fit person, you know, I'd have someone whose body image or whatever looks nothing like mine, which is just ridiculous. And actually taking people like Claire and Julie, who are very, you know, they've been on that journey. They've had a lot of weight to lose, or they've fundamentally changed. I mean, it's not just all about the weight, as Claire was saying. It's a health journey. It's so interesting to see real people do it, as opposed to you know, these beautiful, I mean, fair play to them, you know, the ones that are like crazy CrossFit stars and all the rest of it, but you know, I'm never going to do a one-armed handstand, you know. Did you
No.
the session yesterday, because of your sleep issues that you were talking about with Bianca? That was really interesting, wasn't it? There was because I was always thinking, oh, it's my sleep wind down thing that I do in the evening that I need to improve. And when she said, oh my God, no, it's through the rest of the day, I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that absolutely blew my mind. We were going to hear maybe a little bit more of the same advice that we've heard before about your evening routine. And when she was like, no, it starts with light in your eyes in the morning. It's like, right, this is something you think about all day. And it's amazing, but just, it wasn't difficult what she was saying, but it was absolutely mind-blowing for me.
Yeah. Were you like scribbling loads of notes, Thomas, and thinking, right, okay, that's it, I'm going to try all of this?
I think the thing that sort of stuck out for me was the use of words that we use to try and get at.
Oh yeah, I wrote those down.
It's really interesting. So I think she said something like, in your mind, you're saying to yourself, I really need to fall asleep. But
Or go to sleep.
Fall, you don't want to fall because that's a bad thing. And I couldn't remember the other one. Was fall and
go to sleep.
Yeah. That was it. Those three, I thought that was really interesting because that's something I'd never thought of before. Definitely.
Well, I wrote it down because I picked up on that too. It's sleep comes to me and stays with me during the night. It's like a lovely little peaceful invitation to sleep. Like, come on in.
Like something that should be on a t-shirt.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, brilliant. I think the thing about the circadian rhythms, I love that anyway, because I just feel like we should be more in touch with those types of rhythms. But what I hadn't realized was, because she was saying you have a second trigger in your gut, don't you, for circadian rhythms? So me, I'm a terrible evening snacker. So my body's going, oh, okay, she's still eating. It's still daytime. Work. Let's do all this stuff. So when I go to bed, it's really interesting. And I always thought that for Colin's perspective, I thought because he's got quite a physical job, I thought the reason why he goes like this is literally his head hits the pillow and there's horrendous snoring. And I thought it was because he's got quite a physical job, and it's not, because he's very much a 3 meals a day kind of guy. So once he's had his dinner, that's it. You know, and he doesn't really snack in the evening, and I'm awake and I'm like real life-changing conversations at 11:30 at night on the pillow, and he's like this with his eyes like, we're not talking about this. So that was really, I love that tip. I just thought, oh, fantastic, you know, and I'm going to implement that.
Yeah, don't eat for about 3 hours before you go to bed, because I was definitely slipping into the habit pre-lockdown. By the time I got in from work and I'd got the kids sorted and I'd made myself something to eat, sometimes it was 8 o'clock, and then sometimes I was going up to bed to start my evening routine at 9:30, but that was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And since lockdown, we've all had a little bit more time. I've been eating a little bit earlier. I don't know if it's made a massive difference, but now I'm really conscious of that. When we do start going back to work and I'm getting home a bit later, I'm going to have to keep that in mind. Definitely stay off the grub for like that 3 hours. Like 7 o'clock's got to be the cut off, really.
I don't like eating too late. I think it plays on you, and I think it really does disrupt your sleeping pattern, because you're trying to digest food, so your body is naturally, it's the way it's still functioning.
Yeah. I think I was going to say, one of the things that came out, do you know what, it's not just in the sessions that we had last week, but all of the ones before, is about, there seems to be like a real key theme of put yourself first. It's okay to put yourself first. And it's okay, I mean, Bianca was talking specifically about what does she call it, like reframing how we think about rest, because none of us are good at this. Like, think that rest is lazy and all these other things. But actually, that's part of the whole wellness.
Yeah.
It's as important as what you eat, isn't it?
I had a rest Wednesday where I literally didn't leave the house, and all I felt all day, even though I gave myself permission to have that rest day and do nothing, because I ran 10K the day before, been really busy, have a rest day, I felt guilt all day. But I
Did you?
and it was a real challenge for me
Crazy.
to sort of have that dialogue to say, no, this is your day, just have the day off. Do nothing. I did, but that guilt stayed with me all day. Even when I was in bed, I don't feel like I've achieved anything today. So I had to really turn that around to say, well, no, you let your body rest. So now you can win again tomorrow, and you've taken that time out.
Do you think that will start to feel better? Oh, sorry, Jo.
Sorry, no, I was going to say it's good that you've known to have that little chat though with yourself, isn't it? And just go, yeah, you've given yourself permission. You know what I mean? That's good, isn't it? So
Yeah,
like, that's the thing we're learning to know that instead of beating ourselves up and then taking that through the next day and feeling guilty and stuff, it's just saying, yeah, you deserve it. It's fine. It's good for you to do that. So it's good that you're able to do that and not let it linger and beat yourself up for the following day and then kind of write off the whole week or whatever, which is what we tend to do. The same with food, isn't it? You have a bad food and then you just go, well, it's Friday, well, it's the weekend, well, it's,
or an excuse for food or wine.
Oh, lean into your mic a little bit, Thomas. I didn't catch that last. What did you say?
There's always an excuse for food or wine, whichever.
Yeah. That's what we were talking about the other day at home here, because we both said we will have a bad day at work, or bad, however you want to say that is, and we'll go, oh, let's just have a gin. Like in pre-lockdown, I wouldn't be drinking gin like during the week at all, because I know that it would affect me the next. Okay, maybe the odd Wednesday, because it would affect me the next day. But we just, and Colin was saying as well, it's almost like the weather's changed. Oh, because he's a cider, he loves the cider. Oh, I have a cider, or I'm on the PlayStation, have a cider. So actually, it's been quite nice this week's been like a proper detox week. I've been really bang on it with my food and everything, and I felt so much better.
Felt better. I bet you've noticed.
I
think you enjoy a drink more when it's not as readily available. You don't have it every day,
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. You just, it becomes more of a treat when you don't have it every day, and you look forward to it. I did dry January, under no pressure. I just I'm going to see how it goes week 2 week. How it, and then it tipped into February. I did a couple of weeks into Feb, and I was like, yeah, this is fine. And then my mum and dad invited me over, and I got really excited about being able to have a glass of wine, and I enjoyed it so much. But I didn't just hug it back. Like, I'm going to really enjoy this, because I'd gone like 6 weeks without anything. But it's then you slip straight back into it. Don't get me wrong. I have definitely slipped back into it massively. But I've been thinking as well about what a treat is. So on this plan that I'm doing at the moment, they tackle distorted thoughts. And the distorted thought today was, I've been really good. I've lost 2.5 pounds. I deserve a sweet treat. So you do all that work, don't you? And then you go, I've lost 2.5 pounds. I'm having a cake. Just pointless. And it's like, why don't you treat yourself by buying a lipstick or a nail varnish or having a nice bath or watching a movie? Or why is it the thing that you're trying to tackle, i.e. food, becomes the thing you treat yourself with? You would never dream of saying to an alcoholic, 1 year sober, brilliant, here's a bottle of champagne, knock it back. But yeah, we do it with food. So
childhood. isn't it? From your parents giving you sweets as a reward for doing whatever, and
Yeah. I think I saw
Mm.
a meme on Facebook once, and it said, "We're not dogs. Why do we reward our good behaviour with food treats?"
It's true.
Do you know what? I think it's because we still compartmentalise, don't we? We still label food as that's good food, that's bad food. You can only have that as a treat. Instead of just going, it's food.
Yeah.
It's just food. A bit of dark chocolate, it's just food. Packet of chips from the chippies, just food. A healthy salad, just food. But we've got these labels that we attach, and I don't really know where that comes from. That whole bad, good treat mentality. But I mean, even something like Slimming World, you know, it's labelled as a sin, isn't it? Your bad things are sins. I know it's not spelt in the same way, and I know it's something to do with synergies and not, you know, the 7 deadly sins. But what has really come out for me as well over the last couple of weeks is you can't just focus on one thing. You can't just decide, right, I'm just going to go on a diet and lose weight without tackling your physical well-being in terms of maybe your fitness or your strength and your mindset. You just can't do it on your own. And then if you start tackling your mindset, you'll probably find that you want to then start tackling any parts of your body you're not happy with, either your fitness levels or your strength or your waistline.
I think that
can be
came
a bit
out.
overwhelming.
Yeah, I think that came out quite clearly from Claire's session. That's what I really picked up as well. Is it's not a, it's like whack-a-mole, you know, like you decide whew, you're going to whack the mole down with the old weight loss, and then something else pops up in the mindset. You know, you've got to kind of tackle it all together.
Yeah, that was something that struck me. Was Julie said it, in play. It's like that self-doubt and initial fear. So initially, Julie was like, "No way, I'm not." Do you know what I mean? And something just spurred her. And it starts with your mindset, doesn't it? At the end of the day, and Claire, you know, oh, I don't want to start her now, but luckily a friend encouraged her and went, no, you know, and she did. But it's like with everything else, there's always a part, whatever you do, there's the thought first, isn't it? And then, so if you're in a better place, if you're in a better place mentally and you're knowing that you're putting things in the way, fear is stopping you from doing stuff, that's like, well, more than half the battle probably, isn't it, to get started.
Oh, say again, Thomas?
You've always got that inner dialogue telling you whether you can or you can't do something.
Yeah. And I think it was Julie that said as well, like that first step that you take. So for her, that first stepping on the scales or whatever it is that your journey is always the hardest. And once it's done, it will never be that bad again. And there's these 5 yogi sutras. I'm going to forget all of them, but the one that comes to mind with that is around start and the pressure will be off. So that's all about, it's even if you just make the tiniest little step towards whatever it is that you want to do, then the pressure, all that pressure of you thinking about it and kind of making plans to do it and all the rest of it, all of a sudden that kind of, it doesn't like go away completely, but it's like, oh, whew, okay, I've made a bit of a start on this, fabulous, you know.
If I'm on a run day, I will have at least half an hour to an hour where I will be having a little bit of an argument with myself whether it's a good idea to run or not run.
And even though you're a runner, though,
I'm not a runner, but I like to run. But so what I have to do is just not think about it and almost go into like an autopilot frame of mind where I get ready in my running stuff and I just go, because if I think about it, I know that I will be distracted by something else or will talk myself out.
I think
results as well, how I will feel after that run is the motivator, because I know I will do that.
That's good, actually, that focus on the result. And I think
absolutely.
Judy said that as well. It's almost like when you're breaking things down into small goals rather than the big goal, and then you're focusing on what that little outcome is, and the next little outcome, and the next outcome.
Yeah.
So good, isn't it?
That whole goal thing is really important. So I never set out with a specific distance in mind, because your body's different and your mind's different, and every day.
Yeah.
So I will just do what I know I'm able to do. So I didn't set out to do something on Tuesday. I was going to do my normal 5 or 6. But I got to that point and thought, oh, I feel okay. I'm going to carry on. And and yeah, great. But I only managed, half of that distance yesterday.
That's good that you take it each day at a time, though.
Yeah, and that's really important. You can't do the same every single day. You just got to take the steps that you can.
Yeah,
I think that's really important, Thomas, what you were saying about just doing it. So I don't know if you're familiar with Mel Robbins and her 5-second rule.
Oh,
and I think she says 30 seconds. If you even doubt or question anything for 30 seconds, you just won't do it. So she has this thing of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the countdown's really important rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because you'll expect a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But after 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, there's nowhere to go. And she's like, you're lying in bed, the alarm goes off. Before you even have any other thought, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you sit up, and that's it, done.
Yeah,
you've done it. And that works for me, because I've done exactly the same, Thomas. I've lain in bed bargaining with myself. If I don't actually go for a run today, does it matter? Because I could go tomorrow. Don't have to go today. And I could have been up and had my trainers on by the time I've actually had that conversation with myself. So I started with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sit up, and it does work. And like you say, Thomas, you never regret a workout, ever. Do you? You never regret a run, never regret a workout. Always feel good.
Yeah, definitely.
Because then you'll
Mind,
educate.
isn't it?
Come on.
What were you saying, Joe?
Just saying, it just shows how powerful our minds are, because
I know.
you know yourself, and that's in relation to anything in life, not just exercise, isn't it? I can overthink and talk myself out of anything. And as soon as you start overthinking it, and then you get anxiety, and then it's true, isn't it?
I mean, what you said there about the mind, even during a run, I'm still having that internal dialogue with my mind saying, that's enough now. You've done 10 minutes. That's
You've done enough, yeah.
You're sweating like a pig. Stop it, But you just distraction, music, whatever. You just
Go through.
I don't know how, but
we never talk ourselves into anything good, do we? We never go, do you know what, Mel? Amazing, how are you going to feel if you do another 2K? It's always, what can I do least? How can I justify doing 2K less instead of putting all my energy into thinking about doing 2K more? And I think, does that not come back to our primeval desire to just stay safe all the time and not push ourselves too hard because it's dangerous or something like that?
And it's like the mindset of food as well. If you're presented with a plate full of salad and a plate full of sins or whatever you want to call them, naturally you're going to go for the most appealing and attractive plate. And it's all it's choice. It's knowing what you actually need rather than what you think you want.
Yeah. One of the things as well that Judy picked up that I found, really hit home was when she was talking as well about how by being the size that she was, and I can absolutely relate to this right now, it is physically and emotionally draining to pretend that everything's okay and to pretend that life is all right. And, and I'll always say this, you know, when I get to the size that I want to be, or whatever my health journey is, my little thing about going to Alton Towers with my oh, there's Colin. See you later. Sorry. Yeah, my little thing about going to Alton Towers with my nephew, and I tried to get on a ride, and they were trying to put the bar down, and it came most of the way down, but it wouldn't clip, and it was the most mortifying thing because I had to get off of the ride. And luckily enough, my brother was there, and he was so sweet. He just, I don't know what he told my nephew, I can't remember what it was, but it was just like, oh, Auntie Yvette doesn't want to go on this ride, you know. And I was like, this is the worst moment of my life, and I will remember this now, and this is going to be part of my why, you know. It's all the things that you miss out on. And I think where Julie was saying about, oh, I don't fancy that restaurant, let's go along to the next one type thing, and you pretend and you tell yourself these stories so that you don't end up in a situation that might be embarrassing for you. And that really hit home, because I think when that came on to, like, then when we were talking with Bianca about the sleep and the feeling exhausted, I think when you've got all of, like, the internal voices like you guys were just talking about, talking yourselves out of things, and then you've got the layer on top of, oh, I'm just going to pretend that everything's okay. Meanwhile, 24/7, you've got this thing running in your head about, I've got to do this, got to do that, don't want to be part, you know. It's like, oh. So yeah, that's
the energy that takes up. Yeah, exhausting. I'm absolutely fascinated by the whole self-sabotage when we're trying to do something really good for ourselves. Why that creeps in, why after hitting a target of losing a stone you'll celebrate with a palm, or you'll have a week off your healthy eating because you've done so well. What is it? And years ago I was friends with a guy, and he was overweight, and he used to say to me, I'm deliberately not losing weight because then I'll become really good looking and girls will be all over me and I'll probably be unfaithful to my girlfriend, so that's why I stay a little bit fat. And we used to laugh at him. But actually now when I think about it, I'm like, is there something in that? Is there some fear of, actually, if I'm overweight, it's going to keep me faithful, because if I'm surrounded by girls, you know, there's just too much temptation, and it's some kind of story you feed yourself.
I think that's
to mask something else.
Situation, doesn't it?
What's that? I didn't catch that, Tommy.
I think that says more about that person than the situation.
It does, but it's interesting. So that was one example, but I've probably got examples where I've gotten to a certain point and then sabotaged it. And what's my reasoning for that?
There's definitely a fear of success, isn't there? That's part of the thing that I've worked on, Donna and Cheryl around here. And there's actually a fear of succeeding. You're afraid of, and it often comes down to what other people will say. So in this country, you know, everyone's very down if you seem to be too showy-offy, and if you're too successful, you get a lot of grief. And I haven't read it, but didn't Adele recently lose a lot of weight? And apparently she's had some backlash. And it's a lot of people will hate on her. And I've not read it, so I don't know. I've just seen a quick picture and she looked good. But it's a lot, it's like you get them that hate, and then it makes other people feel uncomfortable because they're used to putting you in your box of, oh, she's lovely and curvy, but now they can't do that. I know, it's weird, isn't it?
I think
so actually what we do is we sabotage ourselves so other people feel comfortable.
And ourselves.
Maybe. I think for me, with the weight, I never seem to win with my parents, as an example. So last year, I remember going home and my dad saying something like, "Oh, you've piled on a bit of weight, haven't you, son?" And I thought, have I? And then the next time I went home, say 6 months later, "Oh, you're looking a bit skinny."
Yeah.
Lost any weight? I'm exactly the same weight as I was when I came home last time. So I don't know what that is, but people project.
Yeah.
Probably how they feel rather than how you actually are.
Yeah.
It's well projected as well.
That's
so we need our shield of, what do they call it? The girl Donna and Cheryl, our shield of bullshit shield or whatever,
Mm.
bounce
Yeah.
your opinions back, they're not going to penetrate. But it does, and I've had that, yeah. And people don't even
Yeah.
mind it in a nasty way, but a little jokey comment. But if you're not feeling like strong in yourself, it absolutely can really
Be wary of projection. That's
Yeah.
something I'm more wary of now.
I read something this morning. It was about something completely different, but it was called microaggressions. I don't know if you guys have come across that term yet. So it's where people are consciously or unconsciously being aggressive about a certain situation. Or I mean, it was all to do around racism, but it actually works in this sense. From what you're saying, is it's those things are. People are probably not thinking consciously that they're being aggressive about something. It's a little microaggression. It's a little, and like you say, it's coming from some place of projection. That's really interesting, though. I wonder if we can pick up on that as part of like the self-sabotage, that type of thing. Maybe we can pick up that in the soul system and just see if we can get a conversation going about it.
Yeah, that has been a massive aha for me just now, that it am I self-sabotaging so other people feel comfortable? Because, like, for example, my mum's a little bit overweight, my sister's a little bit overweight, so if I'm like the taller, thinner one, then are they going to feel bad? And actually, yeah, all right, I will come round and I will have lasagna and garlic bread and wine, so you all feel happy. That's something I'm going to be more aware of, I think. And like you say, that they're not coming from a mean place. It's me, probably, wanting to keep them comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 30 minutes has gone so fast already.
I know. Have we had has anyone seen Facebook? Has anyone asked any questions or anything? Or have we missed any?
From Holly. Thank you, Holly.
Yeah, thank you, Holly.
Thanks,
We've got
Holly.
one there, which is great. Yeah,
No.
there's not any questions, I don't think. I'm just scrolling back. Yeah. So if there are any questions
Cool.
when you guys watch back, just drop them in the box, and I'm sure someone in the soul system will jump on it.
Absolutely.
But, see you later, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.